right now. And, hey, peace to the gods, peace to her, peace to man, woman, and child, and righteous people of the universe. Hey, this is Knowledge Born, God of Love. You know what I'm saying? Honorable Darren Sterling. I'm talking to Jerry Renee today on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? And my young sister, man, she got some words and some questions for me about the practice of the Nation of Gods and Earth in San Quentin prison, in which I was successful in bringing. Yo, sis, what's up?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Just maintaining the building steadily. That's all,
Yeah.
Mathematics is understanding, so, I'm understanding, able to see things clearly, you know what I'm saying? And, so that's basically, what I'm doing today, so what's happening? You got some questions and things for me, huh?
Yes, thank you for having me on. It's been a while since we talked, but I know some things have changed. You successfully, beat the beast at its own game, and you got, the ability for you and your brothers and those that are interested to have the opportunity to come and learn, where you get to meet and you get to practice. So, how did it feel to make that accomplishment and make that happen?
Well, an accomplishment is something that is achieved through means in which, one's purified ways and actions. And so, I was victorious in that process of bringing the Nation of Gods and Earth to San Quentin because of the rules and regulations that they have in place that they refuse to follow. This institution has rules and regulations that they just sit there on the books and don't nobody ever push them to make them follow them. So what I did was I pushed them to make them follow them. And, I had to go through court after they denounced us, after they let us back, then they denounced us. Then I had to go to court, and what they did was they made a stipulation settlement. And so in that stipulation settlement, the Nation of Gods and Earth is entitled to practice in all aspects of what they call their religious activities and their religious programs. However, being something new in the state of California CDC system, people are somewhat scared of hearing that the black man is God and his black woman is his earth. And, man, woman, and child is the original people, the black people of the universe. So, that tends to have people like, what? But all the time they telling you this in their religious codes and their religious character as far as their religion goes. They tell you this all the time, but you don't know they telling you that you are the original people of the planet Earth and you are their God, but yet still you're the biggest secret, so they create fraternity. And so they kind of reluctant, but it's just a moving process. It was granted, we know the deal, and so we practicing, but we still running into little problems because we have Papa Wu's Freedom Alive, Papa Wu's story, Freedom Alive, DVDs from Divine Prince, Allow You Justice, Universal Parliaments, and things of that nature that I was told that would be on San Quentin TV for San Quentin, the whole prison, to see, and those brothers to get an idea and a character what the 5% Nation is, what we represent, and how to respect the family, how to respect the, the black man's family.
Right.
But he hasn't came over, he ain't got the DVDs to put on TV, and so I'm waiting on that. Plus, they've been kind of skimpy on the time, but we gonna work it out, trust me.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna straighten it out.
We definitely need to talk more about that offline so the people out here can support you. There's a lot of people that support incarcerated individuals that just need to know what's going on. So we're going to definitely talk more about that so we can see what we can do about that. But since I got you here, it's no telling who's listening. So I wanted to ask you a few questions about being a 5%er for anyone that might be listening and interested but don't know what's fact from fiction. Because, it's a lot out there. A lot of times when, something is good, the evils that be in people just themselves will put something out to combat it, so people will go off of that path or not even look into it. So my first question is, what made you decide that you wanted to look more into what the 5%ers were?
Well, this is a allegedly run all the time, which is a true story. I was sitting in Old Folsom Prison on my way home in 1987, I believe it was, and I was watching MTV, I think it was CMC Music Channel, and Big Daddy Kane came on there, Anthony Harding, one of my partners, my loved ones, man, I love him, and he sat in his chair, and he had his donkey, he had his gold truck jewelry on, and he was spitting some knowledge and wisdom which touched me. It actually touched me. It didn't move me, it touched me. It touched me in a point where it's something I knew that was inside of me. It's something that made me click and say, Dad, I know what the fuck this dude is talking about. Mm-hmm. And so it became intriguing to me to know, to request and investigate more. So as I went home, I started listening to, I began, in 1988, Rakim, EPMD, Big Daddy Kane, a whole bunch of cats, KRS-One and all these cats was out. So I was listening to these cats, and these cats were spitting some real knowledge. But at the same time they were spitting real knowledge, I was seeing real garbage in the street. Mm-hmm. And so I became associated with garbage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I became an association with shit that wasn't up to par. I wasn't up to par. My square was off. You know what I'm saying? I was off my square. And so, I ended up here. So in the process of me ending up here, you know what I mean? I began to get at the brother Divine Prince, one of my educators, as well as Elijah Jefferson, a host of brothers down there in Mecca. And so in 1991, we couldn't practice because at that time it was considered as a gang affiliation, an STG.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Some old shit that you know what I'm saying, they just didn't want the truth to come out. So, I sat around for many years. I began to get the literature and the things of that nature, but the music scene kept pushing the 5%. I don't know how many people are aware of what true hip-hop is, and the culture of hip-hop. It started with the 5%, and so, every now and then you subject to hear a 5% in a song. You subject to hear our lessons in a song. So, once they begin to teach, once they begin to acclimate themselves in these songs, I started, really getting into it. So, cats around here didn't understand what I was talking about. I was talking about flying saucers and spaceships.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
In actuality, I was talking about the black man is God. You know what I'm saying? Alive is his proper name. You know what I'm saying? So, and arm, leg, arm, head. Therefore, in that process, I was zig and became somewhat of a teacher in itself. And people used to, cats used to ask me what the hell I was talking about. So I would break it down to them, and then I became really involved in it. And then the Divine Prince and the guys started sending me literature and newspapers and things of that nature. And so that's how I became very highly interested in the Nation of God and the 5%. It's been my life, but at the time I had the opportunity to sit down and really analyze and dissect myself and really get to know who I am. So,
you gonna be able to call back, bro?
Yes, I will call you back.
Okay, I want to definitely finish up this conversation. Before you go, you brought up Big Daddy Kane that made me think of something. It cut him off, but I'm going to probably repeat this to him. Big Daddy Kane, a little before my time, I might need to double back on him, but bringing him up, he put out a video about Biz Marquis. He needs our prayers. He's not feeling well, so send your prayers up to him. Shout out to Biz. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane, and we'll be back in a moment with Knowledge Born. We got Knowledge Born back. Welcome back, bro.
All right, now, peace, sis. How you doing?
I'm good. While you was gone, I was talking about, I wanted to let you know, too, that I said Big Daddy Kane is a little bit before my time, but I love hip-hop, so I'm definitely going to have to double back and listen, especially at this age. I think I'm gonna definitely hear it. But also about him, he had put out Big Daddy Kane had put out a video asking for prayers for Biz Marquis. He not doing well right now, so we want to send some blessings and prayers their way. Most definitely.
My man Biz, you know what I'm saying, rhyming with the Biz. That's my main man right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I send my love and regards to both of them. You know what I'm saying? When you listen to Big Daddy Kane, his album was All Hail the Kane. You know what I'm saying? Him and Rakim, the Juice Crew and Rakim used to battle all the time. That's why Rakim used to always talk about the 7 MCs. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Big Daddy Kane, you know what I'm saying, is my main man. But yeah, peace and love to Biz Marquis, man. You know what I'm saying? My love and respect go to him, my honor go to him, as well as, you know what I'm saying, positive energy. You know what I'm saying? As well as heal himself up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my main man. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest beatboxers outside of Dougie Fresh there is. You know, Biz had that beatbox. The boy was a bad man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I see my love across to him, his family. You know what I'm saying? And every, you know, to his whole empire. You know what I'm saying? His whole existence, his whole legacy. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Real shit.
I definitely co-sign that. But yeah, when you speak of, you know, Big Daddy Kane and Rakim, like I know a little bit. I remember Big Daddy Kane. I watched them a lot on TV. Rakim, I knew a little bit better. But when I came into hip hop, the ones I was listening to was the ones that were inspired by them. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to double back and, you know, listen to them in a real way. But speaking of hip hop, let's stick to that, because I know that's the main thing when it comes to the 5 percenters. But that's the main thing just in life, and it's everywhere. But one of the reasons why I made my organization Hip Hop Humanism is there is a power when it comes to hip hop. It has made people want to go certain places. It's made people wear certain things, use certain slang, dance certain ways. You know what I mean? It's very powerful, and it always has been. I remember when it was positive. You know, I used to be in my grandmother's living room with my little cousin in there freestyling, and you know, it wasn't. It taught me something, and I always used to go to my grandfather, and like hip hop used to teach me new words and stuff. I'd be like, "What's that mean?" You know, and I go to my grandfather, and I'd be like, "What this word mean?" He'd be like, "Well, what do you think it means?" And then he would bring out the dictionary, and he would make me find it myself. So it's like hip hop was always a part of my life and expanded my mind. So, you know, when it comes to the 5 percenters, it makes sense that hip hop, you know, is there. So tell us a little bit more of why hip hop is so entrenched in the 5% way.
Well, that's a reversal. That's a reversal. The 5% is entrenched in the culture of hip hop. Okay. Hip hop, we pretty much the founders of hip hop. Cool Hand Hurt, you know what I'm saying, at parties, you know what I'm saying, in the Bronx, with Knowledge Reign Supreme, you know what I'm saying, all the way to, when I say Knowledge Reign Supreme, you might not know him like that, but that's KRS-One, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, Heavy D, Trouble T. Roy, P-Rock, C.O. Smooth, you know, Brand Movement, you know, the Diggable Planets, you know, you talking about Jay-Z when he was carrying crates for Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? You're not talking about Jay-Z, the billionaire right now. You're talking about Jay-Z when he was carrying crates for Big Daddy Kane through concerts and shows and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know, the 5 percenters has always been ingrained. I mean, the hip-hop culture has always been ingrained in the 5%, because the 5%, you know what I'm saying, use the hip-hop culture to spit supreme mathematics and supreme alphabets and supreme knowledge. 120s throughout the whole get down. That's how, you know what I'm saying, street battling. That's how the cypher pretty much meant by a lot of ciphers had already prospered. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, Cool Hand Hurt come outside, you know what I'm saying? You spin a James Brown album, you get a James Brown seat, and the culture of hip hop, it takes you back to a place where your parents were. The flip side of sending you the supreme alphabet, supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet in the 120s. You should be hear James Brown spin on the record while Titus in the South was spitting the 120s at the same time, spin out again, and you should be hear Al Green. These lessons and these music that you listen to was something that your parents listened to. As you was a child, a toddler walking through the house, you would hear Al Green, you would hear James Brown, you would hear Otis Redding, you would hear these cats, and you'd be like, damn. But here it is, you know, you hear the same music, and this young cat is talking about the black man is God, you know what I'm saying, his original name is Orion, his woman is his earth, and the black woman needs to be respected and taken to the high pinnacle of life and protected at all time, and his kids are the future, and things of that nature. So you hearing these things in music that your parents have listened to, but it's a different flip side. It's an educational process. It's an educational process at a time when we as individuals, we as a nation, black people, seriously, black people need an education upon ourselves and not no one else. And so the father arrived, you know what I'm saying? He came, you know, and he said, hey, listen, I'm going to leave the Nation of Islam. My name is no longer Clarence 13X. Don't call me that. My name is Father Allah. My name is Allah. You know, so I am God. So he came to the ghetto. He came to where, you know, the Nation of Islam was not being heard. And not only was it not being heard, the inaccurate teachings were being distributed. So Father Allah came and said, look, I'm going to give this you the Supreme Alphabet, Supreme Alphabet 120 so that they can carry it on. We ain't got no leader. Everybody's a leader and everybody's a teacher. So the young cats in the neighborhood begin to, you know what I'm saying, build ciphers.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They began to build ciphers and start educating themselves and became honorable and respectable men. You know what I'm saying? And took care of their family. Cherished and worshipped their black woman. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people get in trouble, sometimes things happen. You know what I'm saying? But we up against a system that never looked at us as human beings. Big guy. So now you got I'm Black and I'm Proud playing, and you got Big Daddy Kane, you know what I'm saying, telling my ass where the Kane, or you got Rock Kim, but I'm paid in full.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you got to my melody. You know what I mean? So
And you know what, bro? I'm gonna tell you this. Like, the way that hip hop was invaded by the colonizers affected us and still affects us today. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's like when you talk about the love that the black man and black woman is supposed to have, when I'm on social media, I see the distance. And it messes my head up because the hatred and the division between the black man and black woman was orchestrated. It was put. Like, we're the only ones that are like that. We put down each other in public. You know what I'm saying? In front of everybody. We the only ones that do that. No matter what the white woman does, the white man is not finna get on a platform and put her down, and he be damned if another race of man do it.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing. In the 120s, you know, it's a lesson. It's a lesson that, speaks on that aspect. It's about love. You know, love is an emotion that which we have to master. Love is an emotion in which we have to master. The man and the woman was gifted with this emotion, but we have to master that emotion. And sometimes men, you know what I'm saying, in this day and time do not know themselves, so they have a fear. I would say a fear, what they would call it is somebody, I know the word, but it's on the tip of my tongue, but anyway, it's something that upsets a person. You know, people don't know how to deal with emotions properly, so they become enraged, they become engaged in activities in which that emotion is supposed to be a driving force toward something beautiful, and it turns into something ugly. You know what I'm saying? So you have to master that emotion. And not only do you have to master that emotion, you have to listen to your woman. You know what I'm saying? We on this earth. We on this earth with a mate. Our mate is the black woman. You understand me? In many shades. She could be anywhere. She could be anyone. And she could be of many shades. And she could be of many mentalities. However, it depends on how the gods treat their earth in order to make the earth reflect the love that the gods treat them with. If a god is ignorant, you understand, the earth is going to reflect that ignorance. You know what I'm saying? If the god is intelligent, the earth is going to reflect that intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you have to go into the process of like radio, like, my man Rev Run. I love Rev, you know what I'm saying? Run DMC, like Grandmaster Flash. A lot of people wasn't listening to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5%ers. But they wasn't listening to them when they said it's like a jungle. You know what I'm saying? So when you live in a jungle and a savage life, you're going to act in the jungle in a savage way. You know what I'm saying? And the society that we live in now, it's like this. The capitalism creates societies by criminals. Criminals create environments where gangsters can be birthed. You know what I'm saying? And this idea of a gangster is birthed by a criminal society. You So I'm saying, if you look at the idea and the concept of a gangster, the criminal society that birthed the gangster is always in our neighborhood. It's always in the poor part and destituted people's process. They're not really not gangsters. They're not even any part of it. The idea of the concept of a gangster, they're just being criminalized and victimized because the real criminal shows up in a suit and a tie and says you got to pay rent. You don't even own the land you live on. You don't even own nothing. You own nothing. So you hustling every day, turning into something, you know what I'm saying, taking from your people. And you taking from your people in such a...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
You treating your woman bad. You know what I mean? You treating the black woman bad. You treating your child bad. You know what I'm saying? The black woman is gifted with a womb. In that womb, there's energy and radiation. You know what I'm saying? And in that womb, there's a process where she is taking in every experience she has in life. So when she gives birth to a child, that child will have that same experience. So pay attention to how you treat your women. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think that's a perfect place to end our conversation this time around, bro. It's always a pleasure.